cut in order to observe the internal organs of the frog. 5 cuts with scissors will be needed.
Have you ever wondered about the pathway that food follows through your digestive system after you swallow it? It is difficult to see the organs of your digestive system. However, the human digestive system is similar to the digestive system in a frog. By looking at the digestive system in a frog, you can get a fairly good idea of what a human digestive system looks like. Body systems in humans and frogs are not identical, but there are many similarities. Looking at body systems as you dissect a frog can give you a great deal of information about how your own body systems look and work. This computer program will give you an opportunity to dissect a frog on your computer screen and lead you on a trip through the different body systems of a frog. You will see firsthand how the different systems of a frog look and function.
While doing this frog dissection, you will learn how to use the different tools needed for a frog dissection, dissection techniques, the traits and features of the exterior or outside of a frog, the parts, functions, and appearance of 8 major organ systems found inside a frog, and to compare the parts or anatomy of a frog to that of a human. Look at this leopard frog's external or outside anatomy. The skin is smooth. Its top and bottom sides show different coloration. The top or dorsal side of the leopard frog can be green, gray, or brown.
Frogs and humans are both members of the phylum Chordata and the subphylum Vertebrata. All vertebrates have a backbone.
There are 7 classes of vertebrates, 3 classes of fish, and 1 class each of amphibians, reptiles.
For this dissection, we will use a leopard frog, the Ranapipians. Leopard frogs are common to North America and are about 5 to 13 centimeters in length. They can be found in marshes, meadows, and ponds in Canada and the United States. Leopard frogs are often used for dissection in science classes.
The tools needed for a frog dissection include a dissecting pan, pins, scissors, probe, and tweezers. The bottoms of dissecting pans are covered with a layer of wax. Pins are used to hold the frog in place on the bottom of the pan. Scissors are used for cutting. The probe and tweezers are used to gently move or push organs aside, or lift them for a better view of what lies below.
Look at this leopard frog's external or outside anatomy. The skin is smooth. Its top and bottom sides show different coloration. The top or dorsal side of the leopard frog can be green, gray, or brown. It has paler ridges along the back. Leopard frogs are named for the dark spots on their dorsal surfaces. The bottom or ventral side is usually a solid color. This coloration pattern helps to camouflage the organism both in and out of the water. Frogs have 2 forelimbs and 2 hind limbs. There is a head and a body or torso region. It is very difficult to tell from external appearance if a frog is male or female.
3 sets of terms are used.
Look at this leopard frog's external or out.
3 sets of terms are used to locate different body parts. These sets of terms are dorsal and ventral, anterior and posterior, and head and torso. Dorsal refers to top or back, while ventral refers to bottom or stomach side. Anterior means towards the front or head end, while posterior means toward the tail or rear end. Head refers to the front or anterior region, while the rest of the body is called its torso.
A frog's skin is smooth and may actually feel slippery due to the presence of mucus formed by cells in the skin. The skin also serves as an organ of respiration, much like lungs. The mucus helps keep the skin moist and aids in respiration. Oxygen can pass into the frog through the skin, and carbon dioxide can pass out.
The location of a frog's eyes on its head allows it to see objects in front as well as to the sides. The anterior end of the head has two nostrils. These openings serve as a pathway for air to enter and leave the frog's lungs. A mouth is also present at the anterior end of the head. Just posterior to the eyes are two small circular membranes called tympanic membranes. These tympanic membranes pick up sound waves and transmit them to the frog's inner ear, then on to its brain. A small slit or opening at the posterior end of the torso is called the cloaca. It allows for waste materials in eggs or sperm to be discharged from the frog's body.
Forelimbs of frogs are smaller and less muscular than hind limbs. Each forelimb has 4 separate toes. The hind limbs have 5 toes connected by webbing. Webbed hind limbs aid in jumping, hopping, and swimming.
Dorsal is described. This limb if for each limb. 5 cuts with scissors will be used to bottom of the frog where you the animal. You will begin at this time to make to cutting at the perpendicular under the bottom of the main close to the edge. This cuts make the next cut toward the opposite side. It should be similar in length to the one just made. Last cut made below. Below, pull to secure the 2 muscle flaps to the dissecting pan.
We begin a dissection by placing a preserved leopard frog into a dissecting pan. Position the frog onto the dissecting pan dorsal side down, on its back, ventral side facing up.
Use your scissors to make 5 shallow cuts through the skin along the red dashed lines shown here.
Use tweezers to pull the skin flaps away from the frog's midsection. First, gently pull one flap to the right and pin it down at each corner. Then repeat this procedure on the left side of the frog.
Now, make cuts through the thin torso muscles along the small lines. Use tweezers to pull the muscle flaps away from the frog's body. Then, pin them down on top of the skin flaps.
To see inside, locate the tongue. It's attached to the front of the lower jaw. In the back of the mouth there are 2 openings. Locate a long horizontal slit. This is the opening to the esophagus. A second, smaller slit appears below the esophagus opening. This is are two teeth-like structures called vomerine teeth.
The liver is the largest organ of the digestive system. It is located towards the anterior end of the body cavity and appears to have three portions, or lobes. The liver produces bile, a chemical that aids in the digestion of fat. The long, thick tube seen along the side of the liver is the stomach. The stomach is the first organ in the frog where chemical digestion of food takes place. Its anterior end connects to the esophagus, while its posterior end connects to the small intestine. This is the gallbladder. The gallbladder stores bile and releases it into the small intestines by way of a small tube or duct. Along the inner edge of the stomach is the pancreas. It produces several different chemicals which aid in further digestion. The long twisted tube that starts at the posterior end of the stomach is the small intestine. Digestion of food is completed here. Nutrients pass into the bloodstream from the small intestine for use by body cells. Connected to the posterior end of the small intestine is a short, thick tube. This is the large intestine. Undigested food is stored here before leaving the digestive system by way of the cloaca.
Remove the liver, small
The liver is the largest
Remove the liver, small intestine, and large intestine from the body cavity. Lift these organs out using tweezers and clip the ends. This will allow you to observe some of the organ systems that lie below. You will now remove the liver and the gallbladder. Please locate the liver and make 2 small incisions along the red lines marked on your screen. Now use the tweezers to remove the liver and the gallbladder from the body cavity. Place the liver on the dissecting pan. You will now remove the stomach. Please locate the stomach and make the 2 small incisions along the red lines marked on your screen. Now use the tweezers to remove the stomach from the body cavity. Place the stomach on the dissecting pan. You will now remove the pancreas. Please locate the pancreas and make 2 small incisions along the red lines marked on your screen. Now use the tweezers to remove the pancreas from the body cavity and place it on the dissecting pan. You will now remove the small and large intestines. Please locate the intestines and make 2 small incisions along the red lines marked on your screen. Now use the tweezers to remove the intestines from the body. You will now remove the tweezers to remove the intestines from the body cavity and place them on. You will now remove the small. Now use the tweezers to remove the intestines from the body cavity and place them on the dissecting pan. We can now clearly observe some of the organ systems that lie below.
Frogs exchange gases through their lungs and skin. These 2 organs make up the animal's respiratory system. In humans, skin does not participate in gas exchange.
Air passing into or out of the lungs must pass through the frog's nostrils.
Amphibians have 2 lungs. They appear as sac-like structures lying on either side of the heart. Lungs are where oxygen moves into the bloodstream and carbon dioxide moves out. . Amphibians have.
Frogs also use their skin as an organ for gas exchange. Many blood vessels present in the skin pick up oxygen from the water and give off carbon dioxide into the water.
The circulatory system in frogs and in humans provides a way of moving blood throughout an animal's body. It consists of a series of tubes or vessels that carry blood and a heart which acts as a pump.
Capillaries are the smallest blood vessels. They are microscopic. In capillaries, blood releases oxygen and delivers nutrients to all body cells, then picks up wastes and carbon dioxide from body cells.
Arteries are large blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart. Veins are blood vessels that bring blood back to the heart. Capillaries are the smallest blood vessels that connect arteries to veins.
A frog's heart is located between the lungs. The heart of a frog consists of 3 chambers. There are 2 small chambers on top called the right and left atrium. There is 1 large chamber on the bottom called the ventricle. The ventricle has thicker, more muscular walls to pump blood to the body. In contrast to the frog, the human heart has 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles.
Exchanged through capillaries of the skin, giving them an additional source of oxygen.
A frog's reproductive system is responsible for producing sex cells. In males, sperm are formed in the testes. In females, eggs are formed in ovaries. The many thread-like parts shown in yellow are called fat bodies. They store fat that can be used by the frog for energy during hibernation or breeding.
Male reproductive organs, testes, are bean-shaped organs located toward the anterior end of each kidney. Sperm formed in the testes will pass along a tube called the sperm duct to the cloaca where these sex cells leave the frog's body.
Female reproductive organs, or ovaries, are also located towards the anterior end of each kidney. Eggs formed in the ovaries pass along a twisted tube called the oviduct on their way out of the female's body by way of the cloaca. Female frogs deposit eggs in water, where they are fertilized by sperm from male frogs.
The excretory system allows the frog to remove waste produced by body cells. Kidneys are the main organ of this system in frogs and in humans. They are often compared to filters because they cleanse the blood of unwanted wastes.
With the intestines removed, the kidneys can be seen as 2 large organs lying near the center along the dorsal wall of the body cavity. Blood entering the kidneys is cleansed of liquid waste, which eventually leaves the body by way of the cloaca.
A long tube can be seen leaving the posterior end of each kidney. These are the ureters. They carry liquid wastes to the urinary bladder.
A sac-like organ at the posterior end of the torso is the urinary bladder. It is here that liquid wastes are temporarily stored.
The urinary bladder leads to the outside of the frog's body by way of an opening called the cloaca. This opening allows liquid wastes to leave the animal and is the same opening that allows solid waste from the digestive system to leave the frog. The frog's nervous system is made up of the brain, sense organs, a spinal cord, and a series of nerves. This system communicates messages throughout the animal's body and controls the frog's behavior.
cerebrum. Posterior to them are the optic lobes, which control the sense of sight.
The brain is the main center of the nervous system. It receives messages from the frog's sense organs and sends messages along the spinal cord to all body parts by way of connecting nerves. Sense organs are also part of the nervous system. They detect information from the frog's environment and pass it to the animal's brain. Eyes allow the frog to see what is happening around it, while its ears detect sounds.
Movement of a frog's body takes place through its muscular system. Muscles are attached to bones and move them as they shorten, contract, and relax.
Specific to separate them from each other. This will show you the size of each specific muscle.
A frog's hind legs serve as an example of what these muscles look like. Usually, muscle tissue is grouped into large bundles, making individual muscles easy to observe. Muscles found in the upper leg or thigh are responsible for moving the frog's lower leg or calf. Muscles found in the lower leg are responsible for moving the frog's foot.
The frog's includes wrist, ankle, and toe bones.